Will never go away. It'll always be with me. And I think I saw somewhere the sadness is a reminder of how much. Just feel like, I did something right in life with him.
Malcolm Jamal Warner was supposed to grow old, to watch his daughter graduate, to hold her hand on her wedding day, and smile that warm smile we all knew from the TV screen. But instead, he came home in a box. The truth about his death has been buried under lies, money, and silence. The last time the world saw him, Malcolm was laughing, a flower in his hair, a gift from his daughter for her birthday.
"There's always a reason to smile," he said.
Hours later, that smile was gone forever. Authorities called it a drowning, claiming his daughter wasn't even in the water.
But witnesses tell a different story. They saw him fighting for his daughter's life against a deadly current. A hero's last battle.
Why did the authorities erase that part of the story? Within 24 hours of his death, his wife allegedly moved over $12 million in assets into her name, denied his daughter a last goodbye, and blocked any autopsy from being done. Regina King, the woman he once loved, didn't rant or accuse. But in her grief, the world saw something darker in her eyes. Malcolm wasn't just an actor, he was a man with secrets called Theopiles. Before his death, Malcolm had been working on something he called Theopiles. Nobody knew what it was until a private email leaked, describing encrypted files hidden and protected. These files allegedly contained evidence that could shift the way we see some of the most powerful names in entertainment. The email ended with a chilling line: "If anything happens to me, no, it wasn't an accident." Suddenly, the drowning doesn't look like an accident. The contradictions and rushed decisions don't seem like mistakes.
It looks like motive.
The police chief wasn't even at the scene when the first statement went out, yet the authorities stuck to the official story: accidental drowning, no foul play.
But witnesses say otherwise.
A lifeguard reported seeing panic in Malcolm's eyes as he realized his daughter was in danger. He jumped in after her, fighting the current with everything he had.
But CPR wasn't immediate. It was delayed.
Those lost minutes could have made all the difference, but they never made it to the headlines. Instead, we heard about a simple misstep in calm waters. Then came the chilling part. His wife allegedly rushed to lock down his estate, changing beneficiaries and pushing for immediate cremation. No autopsy.
No toxicology report. No answers.
If you've ever followed a tragedy, you know that this rush to control the narrative is not how real stories unfold. It's too clean,
too quick.
Meanwhile, Regina King, who had once shared a deep connection with Malcolm, stepped into the silence.
She didn't lash out.
But her tribute, though simple, hinted at something more. Her words spoke of an energy Malcolm had left behind, something unspoken, something only she seemed to understand. As fans and media scrambled for answers, Reddit threads exploded, connecting the dots. Theopiles became a word tied to something darker, something larger. Malcolm's files allegedly held secrets about financial crimes in Hollywood, celebrities linked to offshore accounts, and even politicians involved in cover-ups. Theories spread, and the online world was on fire with speculation. Malcolm's final months were marked by cryptic messages, strange silences, and a withdrawal from the public eye. One friend recalls him saying, "There are some things you cannot know, and once you know them, you either carry them or you share them." What happened on that beach in Costa Rica on July 20th, 2025? Why was the truth scrubbed away before the tide even went out?
And what exactly was in those files that Malcolm sent that warning about?
Was his death really an accident? Or did the world lose someone who had uncovered far more than they wanted him to? The people who want this story buried are counting on us to forget.
But we won't.
The waves might have taken his body, but they didn't take the questions, the suspicions, or the fight for truth.
This isn't over. Not by a long shot.
But sharing comes with a cost. And for Malcolm, that cost may have been his life. Just days before his trip to Costa Rica, he allegedly told a confidant that he had something ready to drop, something that once revealed, no one could bury.
He never got the chance.
In the week following his death, multiple people connected to Malcolm reported being approached by officials. No police, no FBI, just unnamed, persistent individuals asking about his laptop, phone, and personal hard drives. His wife claimed she couldn't find the laptop, the phone was wiped, and the hard drives went missing. Convenient, isn't it? But if you've ever tried to erase a digital footprint, you know something always lingers. According to one anonymous source, Malcolm may have left a fail-safe, a trail, an off-site backup somewhere no one's thought to look yet. If that's true, and those files surface, this story won't just be about a tragic drowning. It will be about a takedown, a deliberate, targeted silencing of a man who got too close to the wrong truths. That's why the fight for #justice for Malcolm isn't just emotional. It's necessary. Because if someone can erase him, they can erase anyone. This isn't the first time we've seen the pattern. A well-loved figure, a sudden accidental death, immediate moves to secure finances, and always whispers of something they were about to reveal. The internet remembers, and it's not letting go. On Twitter, people are sharing old clips of Malcolm speaking about injustice, corruption, and stories that never see daylight. On Reddit, users are compiling timelines, cross-referencing official reports with eyewitness statements. On TikTok, videos of his final birthday clip with his daughter are going viral. Not just because it's sweet, but because everyone knows what came next. A smile, a flower, a reason to live. And then, nothing. Regina King hasn't spoken again since a tribute. Maybe she's protecting herself. Maybe she's waiting for the right moment. Or maybe she's holding a piece of this puzzle the world hasn't seen yet. But make no mistake, the silence around this case isn't the silence of peace. It's the silence of fear. Fear of what's in those files. Fear of what the truth would mean. Fear of the dominoes that could fall if even one page saw the light of day. And if you think this is over, think again. Because the tide has a way of bringing things back. Secrets, lies, bodies, truths, they all wash ashore eventually. And when Theo Piles finally surfaces, the world won't be ready for what it finds. The whispers didn't stop. They grew louder. The more the official version was pushed, the more the public started to see the cracks. By week 3, the #JusticeForMalcolm hashtag had millions of views. People weren't just mourning anymore. They were investigating. Leaked screenshots from private group chats claimed there was footage taken that day, a shaky cell phone video showing Malcolm in the water with his daughter clinging to him before disappearing under a wave. Where's that video now? No one knows. One witness says their phone was taken by investigators on the beach and never returned. Another says they were told not to share anything for the sake of family privacy. Family privacy? Or protecting someone else entirely? The deeper you dig, the more the timeline feels manufactured. We know Malcolm was alive when they pulled him out. We know there was a delay in medical response. We know his wife had lawyers moving faster than any grieving spouse should. And we know Theo Piles existed. But the part no one saw coming? An anonymous email sent to a major journalist just last week. No name, no signature, just a link. Inside that link, a heavily watermarked PDF. Its title, Theo Piles, Part 1. It's not the full folder, but it's enough to make your blood run cold. The first page lists dates, names, meeting locations. The second contains screenshots of emails between high-level entertainment executives talking about containment and damage control tied to an unnamed actor. One of the names in those emails belonged to someone who was on that very same beach the day Malcolm died. Coincidence? Not likely. By the time the PDF started circulating in underground forums, the account that sent it was gone, deleted, vanished. But it was too late. Once something hits the internet, it never truly disappears. Now, the theory is shifting. This wasn't just about silencing Malcolm. This was about sending a message to anyone who might think about speaking out next. The parallels to other mysterious celebrity deaths are impossible to ignore. Different names, different details, same ending. And then the heartbreak reached a new level. Malcolm's daughter, just 8 years old, appeared in a short, silent video posted by a family friend. She sat on a couch clutching the same flower she gave her father in his final video. She didn't speak. She didn't have to. The image alone broke millions of hearts. That clip racked up 20 million views in 24 hours. Comments flooded in. Her eyes say it all. She knows more than they'll ever let her say. But here's the thing, we're not forgetting. Every new post, every new thread, every share of his last smiling video with his daughter keeps the story alive. And that's the real power they fear. Not the files, not the headlines, but us. Because if enough of us demand answers, someone will eventually break. Someone will talk. Someone will confirm what we already feel in our gut, that this was not an accident. And when that day comes, the names in Theo Piles will no longer be whispers. They'll be front-page news. Until then, we're left with the images burned into our minds. The flower in his hair, the smile that hid a storm, the little girl on the couch holding on to the last piece of her father, and the haunting truth that somewhere, someone is sleeping easy tonight because they think they got away with it.
But they didn't. Not really.
Because justice has a way of catching up, sometimes slow, sometimes loud, but it comes.
So here's where you come in.
If you've watched this far, if you felt even a fraction of the heartbreak, if you believe in truth, don't let this story die.
Share it. Comment justice for Malcolm below. Tell everyone you know about Theo Piles.
Because if they thought silencing one man would bury the truth, they were wrong.
The tide will turn.
The files will surface. And when they do, the world will finally know what happened on that beach in Costa Rica. And maybe then, Malcolm Jamal Warner can rest, not in silence, but in peace.
Don't scroll past this.
If you do, they win.
They want this story to fade away. They want Malcolm Jamal Warner to become just another headline.
Just another tragic accident we stop talking about.
But we know better. You know better. A father is gone.
A daughter is left with questions no child should have to ask. A man's legacy is being rewritten by people who think they can bury the truth beneath money, lies, and silence. Unless we speak, unless you speak, the truth will drown with him.
So here's what you can do right now.
Type justice for Malcolm in the comments. Flood this space with his name. Let every single person scrolling past see it and wonder why so many people refuse to forget.
Share this video with everyone you know.
Post it, message it, tag someone, because every view, every comment, every share is another crack in the wall they've built to keep the truth locked away.
Think about his daughter.
Think about the flower she placed in his hair just hours before he was gone. Think about the files he died protecting, the piles, and the warning he left behind. If anything happens to me, no, it wasn't an accident.
We can't bring Malcolm back, but we can make sure his story doesn't die. We can make sure his name is remembered for what he stood for and for the truth they tried to erase. So don't be silent. Don't move on. Be part of the voice that's too loud to ignore. Justice for Malcolm. Justice for truth. Justice for every voice they tried to silence.
This isn't over, and it won't be until the truth comes out.